Hey guys, Ryan here with Mantis Defense. Today I'm here to talk to you about a couple different flashlight options that are on the market today. Last time we talked, I put up a poll asking if you guys wanted me to do a review on the Streamlight TLR6 or if you guys wanted me to do one on the First Spear AEC plate carrier. Well, I decided I was going to do both anyways. So, today we're going to go over a couple of different flashlight options that I have here in front of me, including Nightstick, Streamlight, Surefire. I even have a Modlite out here as well. Let's get to it. As you guys can tell, lights are one of the most important accessories that you can add to one of your rifles or one of your handguns. Depending on the application of the use, obviously will determine what kind of light you use. We can talk about simple things such as a Streamlight MicroStream, right? This is the USB rechargeable version, but it has a really nice output and this is a great everyday carry kind of light. What's even better about it is this is the kind of light I would keep in my vehicle, in my backpack, whatever it might be, especially if you have a dump charger, because these lights are collared. So all you have to do is actually pull the collar up on this guy, and you can plug it right in and charge it. So it's very nice to have as an EDC light. Okay. When we start talking about the other lights, such as your Surefires, your Streamlights, there are a lot of options, including like O-Light, Nightstick, and a couple other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head. But there's a lot of like just handheld flashlights. That's great. So if you know how to deploy a flashlight from the hand, as well as use your firearm, now you have both hands in play here. Well, when we're trying to talk about eliminating the use of this hand using a handheld light, which you shouldn't forget how to use, but if we're trying to talk about having something that's always ready, that's always available, we need to look at weapon-mounted lights. Okay. So on the handguns here, I've got a Smith & Wesson 380 EZ with a Nightstick TCM 550 XLS. This guy has 550 lumens. It has a momentary and a constant on. Very nice intuitive controls. So all you have to do is tap down on the light. As you release it, it then stays on. If you were to press down and hold it, it'll be on momentary. So as soon as I let go, it turns off. So two very intuitive features, ambidextrous, great option. This is one of my favorite lights actually that's in this size range, okay, especially with the output that it has. On the P365, we have a Streamlight TLR6. When you buy the TLR6s, they are specific to the handgun because of how small they are. So this one is specifically set for the 365 because it bolts onto the trigger guard as well as the frame. This is a laser light combo, and so with the Streamlight, the TLR6, you're looking at about 100 lumens. It's not a super high output, but I think it's one of the best options on the market at this time for this gun. Personally, I was not a huge fan of the SIG lights and lasers that they had released. Even though they matched the body and they look great, wasn't super thrilled about it. On my ZEV 19 Defender, as well as on my 226 Mark 25, at one point I did have Streamlight TLR1HLs, which is this guy here. These are pretty good. I do like these. This one, I think the lens is a little bit beat, because this does have fresh batteries in it, so I think it's starting to lose some power here. But this guy is about $150, and you're looking at 800 lumens. So if you're getting your first gun, you want to get your first light, this might be a really nice option if you're not going to be using it a whole lot. If you're going to be shooting a lot, you're going to be beating the shit out of your gun, maybe consider looking at the Surefire X300Us. These guys are really durable. They have really heavy-duty paddles, so a lot of people complain about them being stiff. Well, the stiffer the paddle, I think that kind of translates to the durability and longevity of the use of that, right? So because of that, I can either A, push forward on it, and I can do a momentary, or I can flick it down into position to leave it on. So both really great options, but just be aware, obviously, because of the length of these guys, especially with their muzzles, they're going to get filthy. I highly recommend the Therm. I think they did a collaboration with like Sage Dynamics, and they have like little lens covers that you can just peel off, which are great. I think Hunter and I talked about it in a previous video before. We had used chapstick at one point on the front of our lenses, and that's okay, it'll get you by, but consider buying the Therms because they're just like little clear plastic guys. So, as you can see, handguns are all set up, and then when we move to the rifles, we got a couple different options here. So, on this upper, we have one of the Modlites. This is the Modlite PLH, okay? So, on the PLHs, these guys are pricey, but they are sweet. These are going to be comparable and I guess your direct competition to your Surefire M600DFs, the dual fuels. These run those larger batteries, which are the 18650 batteries. And so most of the time, I haven't seen one without yet, but anytime you buy any of those, they ship with a charger like this. So like this is the Surefire for the M600DF, and the night core charger that comes with the Modlites. Really nice that they included those. Sometimes they include spare batteries and all that stuff, just depending on like the starter kit or whatever you buy. Over here we have a Surefire M600DF. Okay. Over here we have a Inforce WMLx. Okay, this is actually the first gen. It's still a nice light, still has 800 lumens, really good price point, nice ergonomics. And then over here we have an M600. So it, again, just depends on what you're looking to get into. You're getting different lumen outputs anywhere from, 300 on your scout lights, 1500 on your DFs, 1500 on your Modlites, 1500 from even some of the Streamlight models, and then with the other scout lights you're looking at 600 lumens. When we talk price point, your Inforce is going to be around 150, your Streamlights are going to be around 150. When you talk about your Surefires, though, you're now looking at around a $300 price point. Same thing with the Modlites. Obviously, there are sales on them. You can get a really sweet deal during the holidays or something that's going on, and that's obviously when I would suggest buying it. And there's plenty of big vendors out there to support that you can get these accessories from. One of the big things about the Modlite is that the Modlite kind of reached into this whole category that people hadn't really explored of understanding candela, right? And so candela is the throw. And so when you talk about some pros of having the lights, it increases our visibility, which means better target identification, as well as it creates like a photonic barrier. I think that's the right way to say it. But a photonic barrier, a great example would be like when you're driving down the road with a car coming at you. When they have their high beams on and you're running with your low beams, it's very hard to see past that car. Even if they're not like directly in front of you, they might be off to the side, it's hard to see past those lights, right? And so the only way to see past that is with a brighter light. And so by having a lot of lumens, we have a lot of light, okay? But that might mean we have a very large spill and maybe a narrow hotspot or a very large hotspot. It just depends on the light that you're getting. And so it's really hard to find that balance. So you kind of really have to determine what the application of the light is for before you go any further. Now, when we talk about candela, the reason that that's so important because candela kind of translates into your intensity and your throw of the light. So a bright or intense candela means that we're going to be really throwing that light further out to identify a target or just identifying something in the distance. Some lights have a very large hotspot or a fill light. So, when you talk about coming into a room and you were to turn on your light so you can identify what's in the area, if it has a very large fill or a very large flood, like a spill out, I guess you could say, you might even identify yourself by accident, right? So people talk about, oh, well, you don't want to be too bright because then now all of a sudden you're illuminating everyone in the room, including yourself. You're giving yourself away. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have more lumens and more candela than not. When we talk about the rifle lights, there are a lot of different accessories that go with it as well. Typically, you're looking at two common battery types. You're either looking at CR123As or you're looking at your long 18650s that are rechargeable. Both are going to be very necessary for you, so I highly suggest that you stock up on them. It's the same concept as why you wouldn't have a bunch of CR2032s for your aimpoint micros. You know what I mean? So make sure you have plenty of batteries. Lights like the Streamlight, TLR1HL, lights like the G2X Pro from Surefire, the X300U, the Scout lights, they're going to run your CR123As. It's very common to have. I would say it's probably one of the most common batteries that you'll find in the realm of firearms for accessories. Some of the other common batteries you'll see too would be like your CR2s, but those are for your like Patrol Pros, your Vortex Strike Fire 2s, etc. One of the lights I wanted to talk about was this Inforce WMLx. This was one of the first lights I bought. A very attractive price point, considering it's only around $150. They've obviously made newer generations, different models. Right now there's one on my BMT, and I've had a couple on shotguns and stuff before. But I really like the fact that it has a nice ergonomic to it, okay? A lot of guys shit on this light, but when it first came out, I saw enough other guys using it that I was like, okay, it's obviously worth taking a look at. Let's see what the hype's all about. Now that I've had it for quite some time, being my first light, I would say I would still run this light any day. Now, in terms of durability, I don't know if I would say that it's still as durable as a Surefire these days, but something that I really like about Inforce is that I think it's a budget-friendly light, I think that it's high quality, and I think that they have phenomenal customer service. I remember I had one too close to a muzzle brake before, and based on the body, it actually cracked. I don't know if that was from it being transported on an airplane trip, or if it was because it was next to the muzzle brake for, 500 or 800 some rounds or whatever, but it had a slight crack in it, and I contacted them, and they took care of me and gave me a brand new body. They actually said, send the light in, we'll repair it, and they just gave me a brand new light instead. What I like though is on the side here, there's a switch, and so you can either go from momentary or you can be on constant on. So now if I press the pad in this mode, it stays constant on until I press it off, or I can flick it back and it's only a momentary light now. It also does have a paddle cover on the rear, so that way you're blocking your switch from being activated. Very nice light. I would highly recommend it if it's your first rifle. This is a really great option to get into it. Over here, I've got another Surefire. This is the M600. Again, me being me, I went and bought an Arisaka body, and it's running on a Haley Thorntail SBR mount. And as you can see, it's extremely close to that FSB there. I don't know how I managed to clear it, but I did. So this is running a Surefire pressure pad as well. Very happy with this light. I decided I would get an M600 after I already had the M300. I just wanted to see if there really was that much more output. So I figured maybe the longer tube, 2 batteries, blah, 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 it might be a little bit better. But I think my lesson that I learned from that was either A, you're going to run the M300 Scout or M300U, the Ultras, because you're looking at anywhere from 500 lumens to your 1,000 lumens in your 600 Ultras. But realistically, the smaller footprint for the M300U is probably where it's at if you need something a little more compact in terms of rail space. When you're going to jump into a little bit more, you might as well go ahead and just jump right to your M600DF, the dual fuel. You might as well get that 1500 lumens while you're at it, right? So this is set up for a pressure pad. Right now, I have an extra cable here for a laser, but not running one on this guy yet. So, a lot of different options. Make sure that you do a little bit of research before you buy. There are plenty of great reviews out there. I'm not trying to say just watch this and just go buy right now, but do your research before you buy your lights. When I first started, I watched a couple of videos and then I was like, you know what, I just need to buy this light, and it was that impulse buy. And over time I've learned, you know, there are certain lights, certain applications, and they do make sense for certain firearms. I still like the Streamlight TLR1HL. I think that's a really good priced option. 150 bucks, mount this on your pistol, great first pistol light. Inforce WMLx, great first rifle light. Streamlight micro stream USB rechargeable, great pocket everyday carry light. The Surefire G2X is extremely durable. I don't know if you guys remember seeing me, but I did post a video a long time ago of me like smashing some ice with this thing, because I didn't have an icebreaker or like an ice scraper, or even a shovel. So I was using this to break ice up on a deck, and the light was just going ham. I did actually manage to damage the bezel after I looked at it. I thought I just chipped some paint, but I did damage the bezel a little bit, but the light still holds up, still waterproof, all that great stuff. My suggestion is, if you're looking for a light on the market, if you have some friends that already have lights, ask to play with their lights for a little bit. Just see if you can borrow one. Maybe if you can borrow 2 different ones, that way you can compare them side by side. But you know, give them a whirl and kind of see what makes the most sense for you. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed watching this video today. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something. It gave you a couple options here in front of you. I did not remember to mention this guy though up front. This is the Nightstick work lamp. This thing is freaking sweet. So these guys are like 180 bucks, I think. It's probably one of the best investments I've ever made. So obviously you guys know that I like to work on cars and like to hang out in the garage with the guys. But this is a really nice work lamp to have. So instead of having your big Craftsman lights that you plug in and everything, this guy comes with an AC charger, DC charger, whatever. It has 2 output modes. You put it on, I believe it's 1,000 lumens, and the other one is 500 lumens. It has a really nice long run time, but we use this all the time. It's magnetic also. It has a tripod, has a case, everything in the box, and it's like 180 bucks. I'm probably going to pick up another 1 or 2 of these. But if you haven't checked this out, this is really sweet. So, again though, thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, drop us something somewhere, either on Instagram or here on YouTube. We'll try to get back to you as best as we can. And then, as always, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe. Shoot straight.